And good morning to everyone. Welcome to the first session of the Threat 23 hackathon, where we're actually going to do an orientation in preparation for the upcoming hackathon starting, if you can believe it, next week on this very day. About, 5 hours from this very time? Oh, interesting. But what we're going to do during this session is we're actually going to go through and give you a little bit of basic information so that you're a bit more acclimated and aware of what's going to happen. For this particular session, my name is Jamie Powell, or Jamie is my nickname. It's perfectly fine to call me that. My mom would call me Jamie unless I was in trouble. And I will be taking you through this presentation. But having said that, there's some people that I want to introduce you to, and all of them are actually here, and they are the organizers that actually help bring this event together, including the sponsorships and the money, the time, the scheduling, so that we could do this for you. And so I'd like to take a minute for those that are there for them to just say hello. So first we have Fred from SFU. Fred, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the orientation session. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone's going to do over next weekend and working with the great team we have across the border between Texas and British Columbia. So welcome, everyone, and thanks to the team for putting this all together.
No problem. Thanks, Fred. And of course, we have me. I'm from Texas Advanced Computing Center here in sunny, warm Austin, Texas. Yes, we're getting up to 80 degrees, and it is bright and sunshiny. I'm sorry for those of you that are up north. I'm a systems administrator here at TAC, and I guess I'll be your hostess with the mostest for this event. And if there's any way I can assist you, by all means, feel free to ask. Kelly Nolan, I don't think I saw her here. Kelly, are you here? I don't see on the list, but Kelly's actually also a part of SFU. We have the amazing, splendiferous, because I can make up a word for her, Miss Melissa Fratkin. Would you like to say hello, Melissa?
Wow, no pressure. Now I have to be splendiferous too. Hi, y'all. I'm from TAC. And Niall Gaffney, who's also here. Niall and I have been working with Kelly and Fred and trying to set something up between TAC and SFU since before the pandemic. So we are super duper excited to have this starting. And I'm so sorry that the temperature is so cold there in Vancouver. But we are very excited to have you, and we hope this is going to be a lot of fun. And Jamie is great at this. So he's a rock star. Oops, wait, I'm not supposed to say that, right? After the Super Bowl ad, I'm not supposed to say rock star anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, no, Gene Simmons will jump out and beat me up. Anyway, all right, so we're going to have fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Great. Thanks, Melissa. And up next, we have Mr. Niall Gaffney. If you wouldn't mind just taking a moment to stop staring at the stars and to let us know how you're doing now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Niall Gaffney. I lead the data group here at TAC, but in a past life, I was an astronomer who worked with all sorts of data around the Hubble Space Telescope and several other large projects you may have heard of in that area. And just love sort of spreading the gospel of taking data and making it do good stuff. So glad to be here.
All right, thanks, Niall. And the person who is probably going to look at me cross for using this particular picture on this slide, Sadaf. Would you like to say hello, Sadaf?
Thanks for that, Jamie. Appreciate it. I was going to say, we can't complain too much about the weather with Kelly not here. She's in Ottawa, so it's way colder. But yeah, my name is Sadaf Sadeghi. It's great to see everyone here. I work alongside Fred here at the Big Data Hub, focused on some of our events and projects. So this has been a really, really fun event to get started on. And I'm excited to see what everyone will come up with over the next couple of weeks. So thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Sadaf. And thank you to all of my fellow organizers for putting this together and giving up your time and energy for this to happen. Of course, you'll hear more from us as we go through the event, but any of us, if you have any questions, I'm going to actually, back up a bit and show you on the main site one more time, the hackathon.github site. All of the organizers are available here. if you have any questions, concerns, issues, or even just pats on the back, all of us are available on the organizer site. And of course, you can email us all there. And please feel free to do that. All right, pushing forward. So our agenda for the day. First, we're going to talk about the hackathon objectives and student outcomes. We're going to have we're going to have a sample project timeline for those of you that may have not participated in a hackathon before. We're going to talk about the deliverables and some of the resources that are going to be available to you, which I'm really excited about. And then we're going to have our special gift, our special challenge at the end called our idea hack. And I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. Now, I do want to put this out there one more time as shown there on the screen. Please take a moment and go ahead and join our Discord server. The reason we're doing that is we want to make sure that when you're in your teams during the hackathon event, you all have a way to communicate together. I'll talk about more about that in a little while, as well as if we need to send out any announcements, say a check-in changes, or there's some special instructions from or a special gift from sponsors and things, we will send them out through that means. So please ensure you join our Discord server. If you have any issues, of course, feel free to send me an email. Now, I have a couple of slides full of text. I don't like doing slides with a lot of text. I really don't. But there is some basic information that I do want to make sure that we get across. The first is the objective of this hackathon. So what we're looking to do is to pull all the skills and talents of people within the HPC field, amongst others, together and partner you up with students, participants, so that you all can apply all of your energy, your talents and skills towards solving a problem that directly affects you. Now, those problems could be an environmental threat, a cybersecurity threat, or social threat, and everything in between. It may be an application, it may be a dashboard, it may be other things that will actually, that you all will create during the hackathon and then present in the end. Some of the student outcomes include increased familiarity with data science in the cloud. Ooh, I can't wait to tell you about that. Experience collaborative software engineering, which if any of you have ever done that, you know that that is special. Special is a good word. It sets me to smiling. And then we also want to develop some of those professional communication skills so that you can take them with you forward in life. Now, just to give you an idea of the project timeline, now I have it listed here, but here's how it's actually going to happen. I'm going to put this in English, in Jamie English. Now, I'm from the East Coast. I am a good mixture of country boy and city boy. So it's a little different the way I'll say it. But first thing you're going to do on Thursday is going to be kind of crazy. So Thursday afternoon, when you all gather, you're going to see a bunch of pitches from mentors, both professional mentors or they may be professors or in the industry or vendors. And then you'll have others that may be one of you, student mentors. After they do these 2-slide, 2-minute pitches, then you all pick which project on which you want to work. We kind of balance out the groups a little bit. And then that night, you form team identities, which I'll save that for Thursday. You'll see how that goes. You'll set some goals, some tasks, and you'll work towards them. And we'll have these things called check-ins. Morning and afternoon on Friday, Saturday. We'll only have one on Sunday and then one on Monday, just to make sure we're on track. Now, during those check-ins, I like to throw in surprises. So you'll see how that goes. Just be prepared. And I like to have fun with them. You're going to want to make sure you pick someone as a helpful hint that might be a lead on one of those goals. That way they're the one that can kind of push forward. Plus you want to make sure you can kind of delegate out all the work or tasking that you may have. On Monday morning or Monday night, you'll actually present those findings. You'll be giving us you'll create a team GitHub repository where you'll put all of your source code and your presentation, and we'll have some specifics for that. And you'll also do a demo, and each team will have 10 minutes total to do that. The temperature's below 30 here in Vancouver. Ooh, I am so sorry, Fred. So sorry. Now, having said that, there are going to be some awards that we're going to give out. There are going to be a few of them, but just to kind of give you some information about the judging criteria, and I'll tell a lot more about this on Thursday night. We'll take a look at the projects for their project impact. So, of course, environmental, social, and then cybersecurity, viability and usefulness, the creativity of execution, the polish, in other words, how good it looks. That's a thing. But then we're also concerned about the technical complexity, the collaboration we can tell between the team, as well as the presentation and completeness. And again, I will give a lot more in-depth information on that come Thursday night. Now, these are the things that you may want to be aware of, or of which you need to be aware. The deliverables, just to say it again. So if there's something you kind of want to make a mental note to yourself for the the hackathon itself, you're going to need a team GitHub repository. There's a readme.md file that you'll need to add a project description to, your source code, and then of course the presentation. And on that presentation, you need to have all of your team members with pictures, as well as your mentor and co-mentor for the team, use the technology in the project, and then how the project can actually impact the community. Now, for resources, this is one of the things I'm extremely excited about. One of the sponsors for the event, as you can see, is AWS, Amazon Web Services, and they have graciously provided $4,000 in computational credits that you all will be able to use during the event. Now, the way that'll work is your mentors will actually request access to those resources. I will make them basically administrator so they can get in and actually create the needed resources. So be it virtual machines or databases and things like that available to you. And the side note is we're actually going to leave them open for a little while, as long as we have the credits to do it, so that you all can continue work if you wish to, or if you just want to check out AWS and see how it works. Just a hint on that. If you have never used Amazon Web Services before, you may want to take a look on YouTube and maybe look at a 10-minute introduction video, just so you kind of have an idea of what's available to you. Whoopsie. Some of the commonly used things during these hackathons that we've seen over the years include Python, of course, Jupyter Notebooks as a IDE, and I'll even throw in Google Colab, which is a collaborative Jupyter Notebook instance, Node.js, Replit, which if you are a computer science person and you have to do those almighty projects, coding projects, either in C or in Java, you may want to take a look at Replit, because it allows you to collaboratively work even within those languages, not just in Python. And then, of course, HTML, CSS, depending on what you need. I do want to put a pitch out one more time for the Discord server. If you have not yet joined the Discord server, I highly suggest you do, because that is where we'll be doing a lot of having a lot of our conversations, both with the teams and with you all. So for instance, Ranjit, welcome to our Discord server. We appreciate you being there, and thank you for joining. All right, now, guess what? Now I get to put you to work. I have given you plenty of information, but I want to ask a question. I'm actually going to stop my share to ask this question before I do it. Now, I am looking at the participants window right now. If you wouldn't mind, if you you're not supposed to ask a negative question as a teacher, but I kind of want to know, just so that I know how to go forward on this one. So that's the only reason I'm going to ask it this way. If you wouldn't mind, in reaction, using the reactions, could you let us know if this is your first hackathon? And so it should just go down to reactions and just give us a little thumbs up and let us know if this is your first hackathon. Oh my. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, we have a little bit of a mixture between those that have participated before and those that have never participated before. All right, so I'm going to clear those out and I'm going to ask another question. And this is a very targeted question. Have any of you all participated in a hack HPC, or in other words, a hackathon that I have put on or I've been a part of in the past? Now, I know at least one of you all. Okay, 2. All right. All right. Good. So that's about what I thought. So those that have participated in hackathons that I put on before know that I like to make them interesting. Yes, I think that's a good way to say it. Interesting. Sasmita, does that sound about right? I keep them interesting.
Yes, yes.
There are twists and turns and things, but so since you're there, Sasmita, is there anything that you kind of want to pre-warn the participants about?
You have been covering almost most of the things, so I don't think I have anything more.
Oh, she's going to keep the secrets to herself. Okay, no, that's not a problem. No, that's good. Thank you so much, Sasmita. She's actually one of our veteran mentors that will be with us, so she's definitely going to be a helpful resource to everyone. All right. So moving forward, let me go ahead and go back to the correct window. There we go. All right. So here's the challenge. That's right. I'm putting you all to work. That's the way this is going to go. I'm going to tell you why. And then we'll actually do the challenge. So here's what's going on. Because there's a mixture of you all that have never experienced a hackathon before, I kind of want to give you a little bit of an insight into what it's going to be like to participate in one. And the way I'm going to do that is by basically throwing you into the midst of a little mini hack. Oh, yes. And the way this is going to work is I am going to create some random teams. Now, currently there are 15 of you all here, so I'm going to create 3 random teams. You're going to be kicked out into the breakout rooms, and you're going to have a grand total of 7 minutes. I told you I like odd numbers, and it's a prime number. 7 minutes to try to do all the things that are in that yellow box right there. You might want to grab a screenshot. Keep in mind, you can go to the website and actually grab a copy of the slide deck as well. So in 7 minutes, your group's going to have to create a slide, 2 slides. I'll give you at least 2 slides because I'm nice, where you pick a team name. I'm going to assign the data sets. You click on the data set. You have to try to figure out what it is, what threat it applies to, or what list at least one question you think that data set could answer, or come up with a question you could ask that data set. And then any issues you might see in trying to ask that question. Now, I'm not just going to throw you in there. I'm not going to just throw you to the wolves here. That's not what we're doing. I'm going to give you some tips. After those 7 minutes, we're going to bring you back and you're going to do a no more than 2-minute presentation on what you found. Each one of the dataset links are different. They're separate and distinct. Each one of them can go a couple of different ways, depending upon how you look at it. But the tips I'm going to give you as far as in ensuring that you are cared for in this process are: one, use a collaborative spreadsheet. A lot of times people try to pull up PowerPoint on their local machine, and so that means they become the only person typing. No, you have a group. Use the group. Of course, I suggest Google Sheets because it's a little bit faster, but Office 365 or any of the other collaborative presentation creating sites work. 2, pick someone to do the presentation. Now, that sounds simple, but how many times have you all done a group project and then it's like group such and such come up and you all look at each other like, who's going to do this? Talk about it. But again, you only have 7 minutes, so all of this has to happen really quickly. And the reason for the 7 minutes is because for those of you that are introverts like I am, I know it doesn't seem like I'm an introvert. I promise you, if you came to my office and saw me after this meeting, you would know I was an introvert. But it means that you hit the room and you all have a certain thing to do. That makes sense? All right. Now, the way I want you to pick the data set is by the number on your breakout room that's created. Let me say that again. The way you know which data set link to go to is you look at the number that is on your breakout room, and then you pick the same number for that data set. Now, before I open these rooms and set you about your tasks, are there any questions? And I would suggest asking questions now. So I am going to say this out loud so that you all are aware. So Justin, oh, there we go. What's the definition of threat in these projects? So by threat, we just mean concern. So be it, and by the way, feel free to unmute yourselves. This is not that kind of party. You can unmute here. Even though I like talking to you, I like, talking with you, not at you. Might have to leave partway through. That's not a problem. Just let your groups know what's going on so they can help you. So just to say this out loud, so room 1, we have Justin and Sasmita. So y'all are going to be the team 1 dataset link. Room 2, Max, Ricardo, and Sarah. So that'll be the team 2 dataset link. And room 3, Caesar, Kelvin, and Ranjit. Prakash. Ranjit, am I close? I'm off, aren't I?
Hi, Jimmy. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am? I thought, because I
Yes.
know with the A, it can be the it's usually the sound. And so it's
Yes.
like Ranjit.
Ranjit, yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
I know.
Nice.
Main Hindi seek raha hoon, so I know a little bit.
Oh,
but it's
wow.
still, yeah.
Awesome.
But I still am. I know I'm learning to speak Hindi, but I still like. By the way, I know y'all have stuff to do, but I'm still going to say this out loud. So, Ranji, I don't know what it was for me trying to learn the language. It's rough, but trying to read it was harder.
Oh, yeah.
It's special, and learning to write it. Oh man. Oh. Ooh. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then every time you're like, I got everything down, they're like, no, there's this other rule. There's this other special letter that you don't. Anyway, okay. Take a look at Hindi. It will, if you ever want to retrain your mind in a way, learn how to write Hindi. It's special. Okay. Having said that, all right, so we have our teams. You all know your links. Any questions? Any other questions? All right, I'm going to go to settings here. I love the new settings here where I can actually do things. So I am going to auto close the rooms after 7 minutes. And there we got all that in there. Let me make sure. Yep. Okay. As soon as I open the rooms, it should place you all into the rooms. Let me make sure. Automatically move. There we go. Automatically move all assigned participants into the breakout rooms. I'm about to hit it. Last chance for questions. Oh, Sesmita, you have a question?
I don't remember the dataset name right now, but we have a dataset as far as I remember available at TAC.
Yes. So for room 1, you're in team 1 dataset.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Anyone else? Oops, didn't mean to go there. Let me drop the link for the site in chat one more time in case anybody wants to grab the slides. Just go to the schedule, click on the overview, and it will take you to the slide, or either go to resources up on the top and it has slides right under this particular session. All right. So I'll see you all in 7 minutes. I'm going to drop in the rooms every once in a while just to make sure everything's okay. All right, here we go. If anyone has any issues getting into their breakout room, please let me know. All right. Okay, I see y'all getting in there. All right, Niall, I'm going to drop you into room 1 if you don't mind. Because you're a co-host, you're not anywhere. And Julia,
Are we just playing fly on the wall then, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's a fun data set that you may enjoy. I'll put it like that. And I think it's in, I think it's in room 2. I'll put you in room 2.
Room 2 looked like it was orbital data.
Okay, yeah, I'll drop you in room 2. All right. Julia, I see. So Kelvin, yep, you're good to go. You just need to head into room. Kelvin, I'm going to put you in room 3. And Julia, now Julia, are you one of the mentors?
Julia's with me. She's supporting in terms of admin in the background.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could just stay here if we need to.
So Sadef, would you mind helping room 1?
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. I won't have any technical background, but I'll do my best.
That's absolutely perfect. That's
Sounds
absolutely
good.
perfect.
Okay, I'll join room 1 then.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Julia, do you want to get in on the fun?
Just like Sadaf, I don't have any technical background, but sure.
That's perfectly fine. So your dealer's choice, whichever room you'd like to hop into.
Okay, let me take a look.
All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the. All right. Welcome back, teams. After our little mini hack, it is now time for you all to report out the things that your teams came up with. Did y'all like the data sets? Were they a little special? Now I know you liked yours. That was, oh, you're muted now.
I'll just sit here and talk to myself. No, that was a fun one. So, and figuring out how that relates to threat took a little bit, but I thought it was good.
Did anyone have a data set that y'all like, what in the world? Anybody? So I tried to put a couple weird ones in there. Okay, all right. That means That means y'all made sense of them. That's good. So then in that case, what we're going to do, now I'm going to pull out my phone, because what I like to do with these events is we need to stay on time. And so I'm going to go ahead and get my clock, and I'm going to get my timer. And each team is going to have 2 minutes. And the way this works is as soon as I see your slide pop up, I start the time. Okay. And I will cut you off. Just let you know. But we have 3 rooms. Now I'm going to use the top person from each room to tell me to pick a number. Now I'm going to pick a number in my head between 1 and 10. Now I'm picking it now. Okay, I got it in my head. So, Julia, if you wouldn't mind, give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Okay. Ricardo, pick a number between 1 and 10.
3.
Okay. And Caesar, pick a number between 1 and 10.
5.
Okay. So the number was 4. I know it wasn't an odd number. Which means room 2 and 3, 2 will go first because you were closest without going over, Price is Right rules. Then room 3, and then room 1. So room 2 with Niall, Ricardo, and Sarah, the floor is yours. Are they going to ask the question? No, they didn't. Yes. Okay. Time started. But if you're talking, we can't hear you. Are you there?
All right, so I believe Sarah is sharing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, she's unmuted, but we can't hear her. So,
Oh no.
so.
Oh yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
We are the astronomer analysts, and we are analyzing a data set from the International Space Station position and velocity data from Johnson Space Center. And we have figured that the data is recorded every 4 minutes. The threat and concern is environmental or scientific. And the data set is from April to June 2023. Format is XML semi-structured, is from a trustable source, and the units is well defined.
All right.
Card, did you have anything to share?
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time like discussing the threats, so trying to come up with the threats. This is basically like position data and velocity. So a few things would be, for example, concerns regarding like docking, or basically putting it back to Earth. So I think Niall said a few things about that, and also Max. But anyway, I think this was the most of our conversation regarding the data set. It's from trustable sources, like it's written in the slides, and it's reasonably well structured. So when units are there, format it's good, and yeah, we have a good amount of information. We even have like trajectory summary, like 5 different events, with some descriptions.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. And you finished before time because I waited. Since you all have a mic problem, I paused until the mic was working. Excellent job. I'm gonna throw one on there for when you're thinking about threats. I really like GPS. Like, I like GPS very much. And to the point that without GPS, there are times I wouldn't be able to get back to my own apartment, even though I've lived here for almost 5 years. from in town. Having said that, even though it's tracking the trajectory of the space station, extending that out to tracking the trajectory of space junk could be a major concern, because space junk could take out my GPS satellites that I really need. So it's an interesting data set, and like you said, it's an interesting thing to be able to push it forward. But I have a question for your team, and each team's going to get at least one question. What was the hardest part about getting started?
Jamie, I would like to answer that maybe. For me, the hardest part was knowing where to start, basically because of the time limit, multiple things running in the head at the same time. So not knowing where to focus first. Yeah.
Excellent. That's true. And I'm sure many of the other teams are going to have many of the other teams, as if there are a lot. Both of the other teams may have had similar experiences. So thank you for that.
So Jamie, I was going to riff just slightly on the ISS tracks in a different way.
Okay.
Space junk was one thing, but there are always cameras pointing out of the ISS.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a track and a velocity and can figure out where things are looking, is there any way that you could monitor environmental conditions?
That is very true. This is very,
So
especially
it's a large data lift, but not as much orbital mechanics, which is really hard to solve.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be ways to pull public data to understand where that was looking and monitor change over time.
That is
Yes, because the people in the ISS, they're all scientists. They're researchers. They do research.
That's
right.
Absolutely correct. Good point. Good point. So we're going to move forward here. Excellent job, room 2, the analytical astronomers. Up next, room 3. So room 3, the floor is yours. Always have this thought, like during these quiet moments when people are like looking for the buttons and stuff, of if you were in the same room, everybody would be looking at each other going, where's the projector? Where's the cable? Who's using the computer?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to use, I think. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe I share screen? Okay.
Yes.
Just a sec, please. Sorry. Sorry, it's still a bit finicky here. I've been like
There we go.
Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we're team 3, and we happen to be all from the same program. And yes, so this is our data set is a market data from, I think it's from a consulting firm that is related to cybersecurity industry. And so this is like a market data. So we have the money wise, in Canada, how much the industry is spending on cybersecurity solutions and those stuff. And so Cesar, maybe you want to talk about what question we can answer?
Yes, so we noticed that in the Excel file, there are a few data set and tables. So the first question we can ask is, what are the costs of companies investing in cybersecurity solutions per year? And the second question would be, which company is a key player in cybersecurity in terms of their market share and revenue? And finally, we can answer the opportunity cost of not subscribing to the cybersecurity safety. So basically, these are the market share data. We can answer which companies is a key player, and what are the costs of not subscribing, and what are the costs of cyber crime in terms of revenue or costs. And lastly, Ranjit will describe about the problems with the dataset.
Yeah, thanks, Caesar. So some of the problems that we thought while looking at the data set were, one, this data is collected by a consultant firm. So obviously they have access to the data from the different companies. So what is the safety in isolating the data between the different companies? How is that secured? Second, the definitions on the website, they may not be so clear to someone who is not so familiar with cybersecurity. So how is that message being communicated across? And third is in terms of the data stored in an Excel file, is the data set as such safely secured or not? So those were some of the problems which we thought. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good job. So we're approaching the top of the hour here, so I'm not going to ask my questions, but what I will say is excellent job. So you all actually did have very well-formed data. So the questions you asked of the data made perfect sense. So excellent job, team. Excellent job. Actually, I will ask the question while the next team's getting ready. So room 1, while you're getting ready, if you'll go ahead and room 3, if you go ahead and drop your slides, and room 1, if you can go ahead and start to present yours or start to bring yours up. How long of that 7-minute period do you think you spent talking before you actually had your slides starting? Do you remember?
Yeah, would you like to answer?
Was this a question for team 1?
This for room 3, the previous group.
Oh, okay. Ours is team 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it was a mix. The slides started parallelly, but I think we did spend, well, it didn't feel like 7 minutes to say upfront. So probably spend like 3 minutes, I guess, talking about what the data set is, and like as 3 different members trying to sync up as to finding the data, reading what the different sections are, and then discussing about it. The presentation was developed parallelly, but I guess by the time the time was up, it didn't feel like 7 minutes, like I said. So, so yeah, so we just wrapped up based on what we had at that moment. Yeah.
Very good, and thank you. All right, so now I want to say we're at 12 o'clock. I understand some of you all may need to drop off. We're only going to be here for 5 minutes, and we will end the meeting. So I'm sorry for taking a little bit of extra time. So we're going to go ahead and roll into the team biosensing. The one thing I do want to say to make sure everyone's here, one of the other reasons we were doing this mini hack is we need more mentors for this hackathon. And you all doing the mini hack, granted, you saw the how quickly things had to come together, and so you felt the pressure along with that. But at the same time, each one of these teams, each one of you all found a data set and started asking questions. That's all a hackathon project is, and then working towards the goals that you set for that project. The side note is we're also going to be here to help you. We have mentor training starting on Tuesday. So please, especially you grad students out there that, have this project, that you have this little thing that you need to get done, but you keep putting it off because you don't have time because you have to write papers and things. This is a perfect time to take that little thing and say, hey, I have a group of undergrads that are going to be with me that we're going to get this done. So please, if at all possible, if you'd like to be a mentor, feel free to join us for the mentor training on Tuesday. I will give you the skills and tools you need and the support to make sure that you will indeed be successful. Plus, let's go to my portfolio. All right, having said that, team biosensing. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to amplify that for everybody. It does sound like mentoring is going to be a complicated thing, but Jamie does such a great job of spoon feeding all of the skills and things that are needed to make sure that this both has successful outcomes, but also is fun for everyone. And I think the mentors have as much fun as the participants do. So I encourage you, even if you think you would like to do it, but don't feel like you are qualified, you're qualified. So
very much so. Thank you, Niall. All right. And last, certainly not least, a team that has just met a mere 10 minutes ago, bring to you their seminal work. I give you Team Biosensing. Team Biosensing, you have the floor.
Thanks. So the data set we got is in a PDF, and it follows this general format where you have a bunch of states, cities within the states, and then they're broken up into months. And the information that's summarized here are the mean, wind data over, I'd say 60 years for each of those months in each of those cities. And the three variables we're looking at are mean speed, wind direction, and peak gust. So it's really just summaries of speed, summaries about wind for these American cities in this, 36-year range. When we considered an environmental threat, I think the mind immediately goes to, climate change. And then we're just desperately thinking of anything that wind has to do with, security or safety. So, forest fire protection, doing long-term analysis of risk. Because this is a 36-year average, we're not looking at, day-to-day, month-to-month changes necessarily per year. We're looking at, long-term impacts of wind. So, something more relevant to, today's day and age, long-term smoke dispersion from toxic train spills. And that's something that's important to consider if you're talking about wind. Some of the issues with this data set, firstly, is it's in PDF format. So it's not Excel, it's not CSV. It's really hard to import. So you might need a computer vision tool, or you might need to pay some intern minimum wage to do all the data entry, or you just grab a coffee and do it yourself. Another issue is that it's mean data from 1930 to 1966, sorry. So you kind of eliminate some of the year-to-year differences. When you take an average of something, you lose a lot of valuable information. So you also don't take into account, changes over the years. So 1966 might not necessarily have similar data to the earlier.
It's time.
Sorry, I'm done. Yeah.
Right. Good job. Yes. So yes. So I have had people in hackathons, just to put this out loud, say this out loud. So great job. It gave you, the cool thing about that data set is up front, it told you everything about it. It was wonderful what it does, where it's from, the years, it's from NOAA, so it's trusted. And how the crap am I getting this stuff that I need out of a PDF? Because contrary to popular opinion, even though it's a printed document format, it is a picture of what you need. And so getting it out, granted, there are tools out there to take care of that. This team would have a concern. This would be one of those things that is okay, possible bottlenecks or issues, how to get the data out of a PDF, or is this listed somewhere else in a data set? So this is an issue I've seen at least two teams face before. They found solutions, but they were painful ones. But the sad note is data wrangling in most projects take up about 60% of the time, no matter what, to get it in a format that you need. So that's why I included this one in there. And I really did like the way you apply that towards the environmental threats, as well as, or setting up wind farms and things like that to see if there's enough constant wind and things. So there's different ways we can go. So thank you, Team 3. I appreciate that. And now for my final slide and my time to say goodbye to you all before our next meeting. Show it. There we go. It really helped if I had picked the screen first. There you go. Are you able to see the slide? Yes, I can see it there. So all the teams, Team 1, Team 2, and Team 3, excellent job coming together on the hackathon. Please remember those quick lessons you learned during that. one, that idea of that time constraint, you're going to feel that during the hackathon. You may not feel it the first day, but I promise you by Sunday, you're going to feel it. 2, being thrown in a room on a project with a bunch of people you don't know. Focus on the project. The getting to know each other will come as you're working on a project. You start to see each other's personalities and things. And 3, give yourself the room to be creative. Just because a mentor comes to you with a project, including you future mentors, and you're going to learn this during the mentor training, they're going to give you a pretty baby, well-formed. But you all, as a part of the hackathon team, can take that wonderfully formed, beautiful baby that the mentor handed to you and turn it into a truck. And that's okay, because it's your project. So I just want to make sure you all kind of take that with you as well. Having said that, our next session will be on Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, but with mentors. If you want to be a mentor, please, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind either saying it in chat or sending us an email, saying it in Discord, please feel free to become a mentor, and also feel free to email me if you have any questions. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Mentor seems like a scary word. It isn't. The teams are the ones that do the work. Okay. Then we'll have our kickoff on Thursday night. Now I'm going to talk in my time at, let me pull up the real schedule. I almost said the wrong time already. On Thursday at 6 p.m. my time. Yeah, I was just making sure. Of course, the schedule changes to your local time.
So that's 4 p.m. Pacific time.
4 p.m. Pacific. If we have anyone on the East Coast, of course, you'll push up the other way. To 7 p.m., the kickoff will begin. It's going to be a good time. I look forward to seeing you there. Beyond that, please feel free to join the Discord server. Keep an eye on the website. And if there are any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. And with that, I'll end the recording. See you soon.